All right. Yeah, that was the Coffee Fairy song from Loop Salad to play us into the last half of the evening stream here. Yeah, appropriately enough, we have not coffee, but some tea here to see us through. And I have decided during the break that we are actually going to close things out here with drum roll here, even though it's obvious if you're looking at the stream title. Yeah, we're gonna once and for all finish off Castle of Illusion one way or the other right away here. Because, yeah, this is... So, yeah, because, you know, the Retro Night thing has been down in the schedule all week and everything, and I finally decided not to do it. But we're going to kind of do it right here, because I think for the last 2 or 3 Retro Nights, we've been working on this, yeah, silly cartoon mouse game called Castle of Illusion for the Sega Genesis. And we have yet to beat this silly cartoon mouse game. Because, yeah, it's way more difficult than I kind of expected from Mickey Mouse. Although, I guess that's just kind of the way games in general were back in the day, and I guess Mickey games in particular. I remember having a bitch of a time with, what was it? Mickey Mania, Timeless Adventures of Mickey Mouse. It was a real tough game, I remember, from back when I was a kid. This one actually is not a game from when I was a kid. I only picked this one up in adulthood, right here, in fact, on the Retro Night streams. I first... played this about a month ago, I guess, and we've given it like 2 or 3 sessions, totaling like maybe 5 or 6 attempts at beating the game, and yeah, we have just miserably failed it every single time. So this one's for all the marbles. Like, I don't want to be playing Castle of Illusion on every Retro Night stream from here until infinity. So yeah, what we're going to do here is we're going to cap it off tonight, one way or the other. This will be the last one. That is not looking good right there. Or actually, you know what it is? We just need to resize the window. And the emulator crashed. Okay. Yeah, I've been having some problems with RetroArch lately. I tried updating it a little while ago, and it did not go well. I had to end up reverting to a previous version, and even that seems to have not cleaned things up for us, so that kind of sucks. Okay, let's give this one more shot. Or, I mean, okay, we'll give it a couple more shots, but yeah, if I can't get this running properly and displaying correctly on stream, then what happened to the... Yeah, this is the one we want. Okay, actually, here's what we do. We go into the options menu, then we switch the window scale. There, that's the way we do it. And is that even displaying correctly? Hey there, Maze Whale. You are just in time for, yeah, the miserable shit show that's about to ensue right here. Because, yeah, we're making one more attempt at Castle of Illusion. Just so to make sure that I'm not playing this game, like, forever from now to infinity, I've decided this is going to be the one for all the marbles. I am either going to fail this game forever or pass it tonight, I have decided. Because we made very little we've been making very little progress the last couple of attempts we made at this. We made it to what seems like near the end of the game. We're on like the final stage, or like second last stage, second last boss, something like that. But yeah, even then, we've made very little progress. We seem to be stuck on this last or next to last level here. So tonight we're just going to close it off. Either we beat the game or we fail the game, and one way or the other, that's going to be the end of it. I mean, it's not going to be the end of it. Like, maybe I come back to this someday later in the event of failure. And my... Oh, you know what? I don't have my controller set up correctly here. Because that's right, I do. This is one of those games where I do, yeah, change the controller settings here. I don't even remember, like, what it's like to play using a Sega Genesis controller. Like, just to look at it, the design of it seems weird to me. I don't even know what would be a good button setup for playing, like, for real Sega Genesis games. I'm so used to my PS3 controller at this point. I use it for pretty much everything. But yeah, it's been I have actually not held a Genesis controller since like way back in the day when I actually owned a Genesis. So we're going on like 15 years at this point. I'd be kind of curious to give it a try just to like see what it's like. But yeah, I'm not really like a big like authenticity guy when it comes to like retro gaming experience. I kind of prefer like using modern controllers and emulators and stuff like that. Actually, that's the thing. I prefer the PlayStation D-pad, but I slightly prefer the Xbox 360 controller for like joystick-driven games. Oh, you can actually bounce off those little seeds that they shoot at you. That's actually, I think, the first time I've seen that. And you know what? You actually do get 1-ups for score in this game, so it actually is worth like hitting up all the enemies and going for all the pickups and whatnot. Can we drop off things by down jumping? Okay, we're not going to go crazy out of our way for score or anything, but it is worth it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can play joystick-driven games on the PlayStation controller. Like, it's not unusable for me or anything, but I do actually prefer Xbox. Oh boy, I think we almost took like our first death right there. Is it death in those pits down below? I don't think I've ever actually fallen in one. Oh boy, yeah, this bit right here is worth maybe going out of our way for. That was not worth going out of our way for. Is this going to be one of those runs? Is this how we're going to end it? Where this is going to be one of those runs where we just game over right in the first stage? I mean, if it does, we'll take a mulligan. I've never even seen an Xbox One controller. I've never even seen, like, physically seen any of the modern, like, current generation consoles. I have never seen like a physical Switch. Or actually, that's not true. I saw a... because, yeah, they have a bunch of Switches at a local gaming bar that I went to once to demo Imperial Assault. But other than that, never seen... Okay, actually, that didn't kill us. That totally looked like a unique death animation or something, but that actually didn't kill us. But yeah, never seen an Xbox One, never seen a PS4, never messed with any of that stuff. Someday I think I might get a PS4, just because I really, really want to play Bloodborne. But other than that, I don't... And I guess I kind of want to play the Switch, too. There's actually some decent-looking games on there now that I'm kind of interested in. I mean, mainly there's the same games there's always been on there. It's Zelda and Mario, and that's like pretty much the only reason to ever play any Nintendo console these days. Metroid doesn't even count anymore. When was the last time there was a good fucking Metroid game? Yeah, we're probably gonna take a mulligan. I don't know, do we just do it now? Because lives are so important when you're going for like a 1cc run of these old classic games. It's like maybe worth our while to just restart here and not lose these 2 lives here. Well, yeah, AM2R is a superb Metroid game. Yeah, it's not a Nintendo Metroid game. It's not on a Nintendo console. So yeah, that hardly counts, does it? If Nintendo, like, weren't a bunch of dipshits, they could just, like, buy AM2R and, like, get the rights to it or something and put it on their console, and then that would be a good Metroid game they could have on Switch or whatever, but, yeah, they got their heads up their asses about so much, like, internet and fan game stuff, it seems that that's just never gonna happen. Gonna keep giving us just, this Other M bullshit over and over again. Or actually, I hear that Samus Returns might be alright. I've seen mixed reviews. Some people really like it, some people really hate it. I think it looks bad, but, I have kind of a bias to not want to like, 3DS and Switch games because I really don't want to buy them for the sake of my wallet. Still holding out for that magical day in the future when, yeah, Nintendo goes the way of Sega and just stops making consoles and puts all their games out on PC and, like, you know, proper gaming hardware and all of that, instead of with these shitty baby toys that they keep on putting out. I feel like I talked about this either the last or the first time that I streamed this game as well. Just drive away all of those, because yeah, I know that Nintendo actually does get a lot of love over on like the retro Twitch community and whatnot. There's a lot of Nintendo fans I know, and I just like taking the piss. It's not even that I hate Nintendo or anything. I actually think, in all likelihood, they continue to make fine games that are worth playing and everything. It's just that I don't play them because I can't justify these days like picking up a whole entire console for like the 3 or 4 games that I want to play. I'll justify it for the one game that I'm interested in playing, if that game happens to be like something from Software, and it's like a Dark Souls or Bloodborne, then I'll maybe pick it up. But other than that, I have every reason to be biased against, you know, Nintendo games that are on platforms that I would prefer not to have to buy. Do I actually have to pick these up? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just kind of hold out hope for emulation. That's my approach to all of these modern console exclusives that I'd rather not have to buy. Actually, frankly, I hear that Switch emulation is coming along too. Like, yeah, last I heard, like a couple months ago, Breath of the Wild was like almost playable. I guarantee you that within like a year or two, PC will be the place to play Breath of the Wild anyways. It'll be like have the best frame rate and the most consistent performance and everything. I'll just call that right now. 2 years. At most, that's all it's gonna take. Oh, these guys trolling me. Thing is, it just seems to be a different culture around a lot of video games these days, because I know, like, a lot of these people, they're bitching out, oh, I'm a grown-ass man now, I can't... Who has time to play a video game? Like, at home on their couch in these days, in this day and age, I'm always, like, commuting and working and on the can 24/7. I gotta have games on the go, man. Whereas for me, it's the complete opposite. I spend almost all of my time around the house. Like, there is never any circumstance in which I actually have use for a portable gaming device. I would rather have, like, the home big screen experience, like, 100% of the time. So yeah, the whole, like, Switch, hey, you can play it at home, you can play it on the go, that thing just doesn't appeal to me. Because I know that, like, all the home aspect is entirely compromised to accommodate the fact that, like... Just the fact that every game released on Switch has to be runnable in portable mode, just means that you're going to end up with inferior games on Switch when it comes to like home versions of games to the other home consoles and PC and all of that. So it's just, why would I bother? Why would I bother with an inferior machine when I've got 400 games to play through on Steam here? It's like, yeah. I don't even know if it's going to take years, though, because like I said, that Breath of the Wild is looking like halfway decent now. Like, the game is borderline playable. And that was just like a few months ago. And they're only getting like more and more money on their Patreon. I mean, I guess there's always like the scamming possibility where they just take the money and run and then never do anything to finish up what they've started, but I don't know. I guess I am an optimist and expect the best from people. Oh yeah, that sound effect when, yeah, Mickey hits his head on the ceiling is just great. I love it. Okay, so score actually matters in this game, as it turns out, because it gets you some extra lives. I think it's every, like, 50,000 points or something. So it is actually worth your while to go for all of these gems and enemy head stomps and stuff for all the points you can get. I'm not sure about that. Like, I'm positive that I saw, like, a video of, like, I don't know that it's commercially available. Like, I think the Switch emulator I'm talking about is, like, literally not freely downloadable yet. The only way you can get it is if you, like, contribute to their Patreon, and you get a beta that supposedly runs Breath of the Wild, at least according to the videos they've shown. Not fully, though. Like, it's not, like, fully runnable. It crashes at a certain point early in the game. But before that, in the videos, it appears to be running smoothly, unless those are, like, faked or something. Or was it a Switch emulator? Or now that I think of it, Breath of the Wild is running on, what's the other shitty Nintendo console that... yeah, sorry, it's not the Switch, you're right. You're right, it's not the Switch, it's, the other console. I don't even remember what the fucking thing is called, but that's right. I completely forgot that Breath of the Wild is available on that other Nintendo console. It's not the Switch, it's the other one. That's such a non-entity that I can't even remember what it's fucking called. It's like the Switch 2 or something. I know it's not called the Switch, or not Switch 2, the Wii 2 or something like that. I don't even remember. I paid so little attention to the fucking thing. I'll just call it that. It's a Wii 2 emulator. That's what I'm thinking of. Wii U, that's the one. That's the one. Is it free? Okay. Like I said, I don't follow this stuff super closely. Like, I'm basically just waiting for the point where they, yeah, the Simu thing is what I'm thinking of. I don't follow it super closely, obviously, since I didn't actually know what I was talking about there. I didn't realize they were that far along. Like I said, a couple months ago, it was just, like, crashing early in the game. But, yep. I mean, non-free emulators, even if they aren't, like, bullshit, like, if they actually work and are the best on the market or whatever, like, they just don't legally have any chance of surviving. Like, that shit is surely gonna get cease and desisted if there is ever, like, even if there were a halfway worthwhile, like, pay-to-download emulator. Then it would just get cease and desisted right away anyways. Even if you did trust the developers, it wouldn't be worth downloading, because it would just not survive for very long. Or you know what, it's worth trading in. Like, yeah, we got marbles to spare, we might as well trade these things in for points. I mean, I know they can't be like, legally, I mean, I don't know that they can't be, like, held liable for emulating games or whatever, but that's not gonna stop the, developers from, like, cease and desisting and tying them up in court and all of that. Like, even if it's not legal, they're gonna try, and they're gonna keep the thing locked down with legal red tape from, like, now into infinity. Although, yeah, surely if there were any, like, legal leg to stand on when it came to if there were any, like, legal... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the industry would have tried and succeeded by now to shut down emulators in general, even the free ones. Especially Nintendo. Yeah, would have gone ham on that shit. So yeah, they would have shut it down if they were able to. I love how the exit sign is, like, the same right side up as upside down. It's just, like, sticking in the ceiling there, but it's still the same sprite, just because that's the way that they drew it. Doesn't look like you can, yeah, it doesn't look like you can marble this guy in the head at all. I don't even know if any of the bosses are, susceptible to marbles. Yeah, I guess you could be right, Maze Rail. Now that I think of it, yeah, the whole legality of emulation thing was litigated quite extensively and conclusively with the whole, I think Bleem, way back in the day, was the big case that actually went to trial, if I'm not mistaken, which apparently I often am when it comes to emulation and that kind of thing. Yeah, it was Bleem and... I can't remember. I think it was mainly Bleem though, which was Genesis. I think it was Sega consoles in general. It was like Genesis, Mega Drive, Dreamcast, something like that. Hell, in fact, I remember when, like, game rentals was the, thing back in the day. Actually, yeah, I know that for a while, yeah, certain ROMs were actually difficult to acquire. Nintendo stuff in particular, like, I remember for a while, good while on the internet, like, I couldn't find a Super Metroid ROM. And I was like, what the hell? This thing used to be out there, and it's like, because yeah, I lost the one that I had, or it stopped working with the new version of ZSNES or something like that. And I went to like my usual places on the internet to look for a replacement, and it's like, yeah, this game has been cease and desisted by Nintendo. We can't carry this one anymore. Yeah, I don't even know for sure how they do the Virtual Console thing, but that wouldn't surprise me if they got caught red-handed doing something like that. Or in fact, wasn't that the case with, like, not even Virtual Console, but something that they did for, like, an official release? It was like the Super Mario Bros. All-Stars that they put out on disc or something, was just a collection of ROMs with no new, like, features or anything like that. Oh, fucked it up again. Okay, looks like we're gonna have to go 3 back. I can never remember, oh, man. Can never remember, where it is we're supposed to go. And now we've lost our 2 stars that we got, way back at the, other end. And here we go again. Once more into the drink. Man, I used to have a bunch of games. Or in fact, I actually tried out, yeah, that Wii emulator, and actually got it running pretty good on my computer. Which means that, and frankly, I don't even give a shit about like 90% of the Wii library. Like, everything that I like on Wii is all basically ports and re-releases, and like downloadable titles, and that type of thing. Like, I really like the Klonoa remake, is really, really good. So that's the type of thing I'd like to stream. Fuck off. Yeah, Klonoa remake, and some of the Rebirth downloadable titles from Konami. Gradius Rebirth, Contra Rebirth, especially Castlevania Rebirth. I thought Castlevania Rebirth was like... Because the other ones got a lot of criticism, and there was a lot to criticize about them. I thought they were decent enough, but Castlevania Rebirth is like a legit, fantastic game, I think. What else was there? Oh yeah, of course, Mega Man... Yeah, Mega Man 9 and 10, because yeah, Wii is my preferred platform for those games. I think this is the one. Yeah, here we go. Man, I've already lost a bunch of stupid lives, though. I have a feeling this is not... I don't know, like, there's an ill portents for this run already. It is not going well, and we are already... And we're only, like, 3 stages in. Fucking bats. Actually, let's take some tea. Take some tea for good luck. I've never actually played a Rhythm Heaven game before, I must confess. I've seen videos of them, and the game just looks so goddamn boring to me. Also, it seems like a spiritual predecessor to the WarioWare games, kind of. And fuck off, my jump just got stuck there. Yeah, this run is a fucking bust. There's no way we're clearing the game. The way things are going now. I'm almost tempted to just take a mulligan and start over from the start. Start over from the start? Yeah, where the fuck else would you start over from? Yeah. That's the thing, is the game isn't actually mostly that tough. Like, I made it to, like, the final stage within, like, what, my 2nd or 3rd attempt at this? It's just that we've been stuck on that final stage for, like, the last 2 or 3 attempts after that, too. It's just like this, yeah, big difficulty curve right at the end. Part of it is being out of practice, too. You know what, we've got time to spare. We've lost so many lives already. I am just gonna take a mulligan. We're just gonna redo all of this. We're gonna go, because yeah, we've lost like, what, 6 lives or something shitty like that already on the 3rd stage. We'll just try again and, yeah, not do any of that. Now that I think of it, yeah, with Breath of the Wild being available on Wii U, yeah, the only other game I'm interested in on Switch is Mario Odyssey. And frankly, I can do without that. Like, Mario Odyssey, it looks like a fun game. I'd like to play it, but fuck it, I can just play Galaxy again and get mostly the same experience, or close enough to the same type of experience. Or hell, I can play fucking Hat in Time, and that's a close enough experience for me. Replay, I should clarify. I have actually played and beaten Hat in Time. See, this is going good so far. We got like 5 health. And just pissed it away just like that. But yeah, other than that, I don't think there's any Switch game I'm even remotely interested in. The ARMS thing looks stupid. The Splatoon thing looks awful. Never appealed to me. Can't even think of what else is, like, even remotely, like, appealing on Switch. I'm just coming up blank. And yet people are going apeshit for it. I see, like, people are, like, really, really happy with the Switch so far for some reason. It's like a ton of people, like retro game enthusiasts, and just, like, yeah, gamers in general that I follow on, like, Twitter and YouTube and all that. They're all gung-ho for the Switch, and I just don't get it. I guess the main thing is that it's it's the portable thing. It's their platform of choice for stuff like people are, like, going apeshit, I saw, about, like, oh, Shovel Knight on Switch, I can play it portably now, and it's like, okay, if that's what you want. But yeah, really, I think what people are happy about is the fact that it's, like, a portable device, because that's essentially what it is. I think the Switch is more of a successor to the 3DS than it is follow-up to the Wii or Wii U. Yeah, Hat in Time is a really, really good game. I strongly recommend it. Like, I'm not even, like, a big aficionado of the, like, whole 3D platformer and genre. Yeah, 3D platform genre or anything. I talked a little bit about that in my playthrough of Skylar and Plux. But I still really, really enjoyed Hat in Time. It was, I could tell, even not being super familiar with the genre, that it was an excellent game. Tons of variety, controls really smoothly, a lot of cool abilities. Lots of secrets to uncover, things to explore. Oh yeah, dead PC will do it. That kind of sucks. Although, isn't it on consoles too? I don't actually know what consoles you own, but hell, even if it were, or if it were or were not available on consoles, I wouldn't even know at this point. I pay no attention at all to, yeah, console releases these days, other than, yeah, Bloodborne, basically. Bloodborne is the one. Like, if I ever get a console these days, it's gonna be PS4, and I'm gonna buy Bloodborne, and I'm never gonna pick up another game for it ever again past Bloodborne. Oh, that's impressive. My last console was, I think I got all of the consoles, actually, in the PS3 era. Yeah, I owned a PS3, that was the first one I got. Then my parents actually bought a Wii, and I just kind of ended up inheriting it once they got bored with it. I played a bunch of stuff on there. Then eventually, I actually bought an Xbox 360 for Crackdown, Death Smiles, and Mushihime. And that was... And I ended up buying other games for it, but those were the 3 that sold me on the console, weirdly enough, was, yeah, mainly Death Smiles and Crackdown. And then Mushihime came out later. And then I played some of the other exclusives, too, that ended up being surprisingly decent. Like, what were the other ones? And a lot of low-budget, like, shitty, like, maligned exclusives, too. Like, Bullet Witch got really middling reviews, and I thought that was a really solid game. There was Operation Darkness, really, like, low to middling reviews, and I thought that was a really solid game. I think those are pretty much the only 2. Yakuza... Or I only ever actually played the original Yakuza. And I didn't really care for it. It was a... I liked the concept and the... like the atmosphere and just the immersive, you know, the whole immersive aspect of just basically living in Japan in a video game. Like living in real world Japan in a video game was like a really cool experience, and I loved that aspect of it. Just like all the dumb extras and all of that stuff was really cool. But the original Yakuza was just such a jank-ass game. Shitty combat, bad camera. That was kind of the normal for games of that type back in the day, though. It's like Grand Theft Auto was just about the only one that did it right. But yeah, these days, like just about every company, it's like, yeah, the whole GTA clone genre is like so oversaturated at this point. It's like every company knows how to do GTA clones these days. That's like the one genre I think that is almost a solid bet if you're into those kinds of games. It's like GTA clones are like to modern day gaming what the 2D platformer was back in the 16-bit era. It's just like every company is making them, and they're all generally at least solid if you're into those kinds of games. Whereas that was a little bit less the case back in the days when Yakuza first came out. There were actually very few that were actually like solid and as good as the GTA series. Like I think yeah, like what are other good like open world, like free roaming GTA style games on the PS2 other than GTA itself? There's actually one called I think it's Mercenaries World at War or something like that, which is actually really good, arguably better than GTA. But other than that, yeah, every GTA clone I remember from the PS2 era was a disappointment to me. Oh yeah, there's a good argument to be made for, yeah, first-person shooters these days, too. I'm less familiar with the genre, just because I don't play very many first-person shooters. And the ones that I do play tend to be ones with RPG elements and stuff. Oh yeah, the whole service platform thing, yeah. Hell, Ubisoft tried to do it with fucking Rayman, apparently. Yeah, that went great. Yeah, I don't know. I never got it... Or I shouldn't say that. I actually have gotten heavily into several online games. Like I said, I played Dota and that type of thing. Played Dota, played League of Legends before that. I played... or actually, I still play Shadowverse, although that's not really an online game in the way that those others are. Although it's still one that you put, like, tons and tons of hours into and just play forever. And I remember back in the day, there was, like, no monetization for that type of thing. With like, I remember back in the day, like, Half-Life was the only game I owned on PC, and that was the only game I needed, because there were, like, dozens and dozens of different mods. So it's like, yeah, you just play Half-Life, that's the only game you own, and you just play Half-Life and mods for Half-Life for years. And that's, like, the only game you need. Yeah, I played Half-Life, and They Hunger, and, all the online ones, the, Team Fortress, and, what was the other one? Opera. Tons and tons of, Half-Life mods back in the day. And it was just for free. Just like, yeah, the developers would give you modding tools, and then the mods would give you all these, yeah, just like new free games, free upgrades, total conversions, play modes. And then that was it. You buy, like, any given game, and there would be so many mods that you could just do nothing but play that game and its mods for the rest of your life. Games are never, like, finished when they come out these days, too. It's like, oh, we'll release it, and then it'll be not quite there, but then we'll patch it, and we'll release DLC, then we'll patch it some more, then we'll add more modes, and then we'll... just, yeah, keep you playing this fucking thing forever. And I don't even blame developers that much. I'm not even, like, lamenting. It's like, oh, lazy developers these days. It costs so much fucking... It's so much of an investment to make games these days that that's pretty much the way they have to do it. And, like, hey, you know, some video games are better than no video games, so it's... Like, that's kind of the approach I take it. I don't even lament the fact that game developers are doing it this way. I mean, I kind of do, just because I liked the old way better, but... Hell, this, like, devs gotta dev. Just do what you gotta do to get the fucking thing made, I say. And frankly, I'm happy with the spot the industry is in these days anyways. There's like I said, I've been saying this all this time, there's more good games coming out these days than I can reasonably play in a lifetime. If anything, it's a good thing for me that there's like so many games with shitty business practices and that just ruin things with, yeah, bad DLC, bad development standards, that kind of thing. Like, it's a good thing for me that I can just cross that many more games off my list and not have to worry about them. It's just like, oh, Hitman looks like a great game, the newest Hitman game. Oh, but it's got like shitty DLC and like one... No, it wasn't shitty DLC, it was like some sort of weird business model where you, like, don't even get the full game unless you, Or you know what it was that pissed me off is, yeah, there was like one-time events where it's like you buy the game now, and if you don't, Or I guess that's the thing, maybe the AAA industry has gone to shit. Now that I think of it, yeah, I can't remember the last... Like, the only AAA titles I play are titles from Software and CD Projekt. And that's basically it. The others I'll take on a case-by-case basis. Or I guess, actually, Koei, weirdly enough, too. I'm still the type of lame-ass sucker that still buys Dynasty Warriors games from time to time. But other than that, basically, yeah, CD Projekt, From Software, and, yeah, Dynasty Warriors. And that's about it for me for AAA these days. To the extent that Dynasty Warriors even counts as AAA, it really doesn't in terms of the production quality, I would say. But it's still they're still priced like AAA games, and they sell like AAA games, so it's kind of in that category, even though it's not really to the same, like, a technical standard as most AAA games. Have I died yet on this run? I don't think I have. This is already going so much better. Oh, there's kind of like not even AAA games, but like the A, like not AAA, but like the A tier games are like really, really good these days too. Maybe it's just better indie games. Like, I feel weird referring to something like A Hat in Time as an indie game. Like that to me, that looks and plays just as good as like any, or at least as good enough, near good enough as nearly as good as any of the stuff that the AAA companies are putting out. Or even, yeah, like weeb shit, like the, yeah, or even kind of like B-tier stuff, like the, blanking on the names now. Hyperdimension Neptunia, which is a fine series for what it is. Senran Kagura. I think I went too far. That's the thing, is I don't actually play every new Dynasty Warriors game as it comes out. I usually, basically every once in a while, I get in the mood to play Dynasty Warriors, so I buy, and once in a while is usually like every couple years or so. So it's like I basically alternate between Dynasty Warriors games. Like, I'll play one, and then a couple years later I'll buy whatever the new one is. Because they tend to release them, like, yeah, one... Hell, if you count spin-offs like the Hyrule Warriors and Pirate Warriors and various other assorted anime warriors, they release like 2 of those every year. Actually, Dragon Quest Heroes was maybe my favorite. I really like the whole, the added RPG aspect and numbers go up and all of that. Plus, I think Akira Toriyama's designs really, really work well in, yeah, those types of 3D models. Yeah, weirdly enough, I'm not a huge Akira Toriyama fan, it turns out, when it comes to, like, his anime character designs, but I think his designs translate really, really well into 3D models. Yeah, I really like the look of Dragon Warrior... Fuck off. No, the next Warriors game I get, the next time the mood strikes me, is going to be actually Dragon Quest Heroes 2. Yeah, that's the one that I have targeted right now. But yeah, Dragon Quest VIII had a really good look to it. Dragon Quest Heroes. If anything, yeah, I'd like to see, weirdly enough, as much as I've bitched before about seeing too much Akira Toriyama in, like, old anime and video games and stuff, I'd actually like to see just, like, the similarities in his style between, like, Chrono Trigger and Dragon Ball and Dragon Warrior. I'd almost like to see more of him in modern games with, like, 3D graphics and stuff. Actually, weirdly enough, I hear that the, what's his name? The Sonata, like, there's like a Samurai Warriors game that's based entirely around, I think his name is Yukimura Sonata, or the Sonata family, which didn't appeal to me at all, because the whole thing I like about those types of games is just the fact that you can play all of these, like, dozens and dozens of different characters, so the notion of just, like, restricting the game to one clan didn't appeal to me, but reviews are actually really, positive. I hear that the whatever it's called, the Sonata Family Warriors game is actually like one of the best that they've put out apparently. So that's another one that I'm kind of considering for my next purchase. In fact, I even remember seeing on like the Steam review page people saying, yeah, don't get Dynasty Warriors 9, get this instead. Oh yeah, it looks like you do go way faster jumping forward. Man, that's a long way that it kicks you back there. Okay. So that's one death. That's not the end of the world. Or that wasn't a death. That was just getting knocked back. But the death earlier... in the previous area, we took a death. Oh yeah, the boss of this level was kind of bullshit too, wasn't he? Man, that's a tight fit there. Oh, is the hitbox of the water not as big as it looks? Oh well. We made it. Good enough. That's really deceptive if that's the case. Yeah, I thought that those, yeah, that, like, the passages through there seemed way too, like, unreasonably tight. Yeah, these guys are kind of bullshit, I gotta say. Oh, you can marble these guys. This'll be easy, then. Ooh. Yeah, this'll be easy, he said. Oh, we can actually scroll the camera over if we want to. I don't know why we'd want to, but there we go. Well, you know what? We can just marble him when he throws his clones. Ooh, that works. That works. Okay, you just gotta time it like that. Grapes? I thought they were marbles. They come in a big marble bag, too. You know, like those leather bags that you see marbles come in sometimes? Although it weirds me out how they switched from apples to marbles and then switched and then stay with marbles for like the rest of the game up to the final level. And then candles in the final stage, of all things to throw at enemies. How many stages are there in this game anyways? I don't actually think there are that many. There's what, Candyland, there's... I don't even remember what comes after Candyland. Oh, I just love the music in this... Man, these fucking A's. Still don't know what the strategy is for dealing with those guys. Oh, you know what? It is apples in this level here. I completely forgot about that. Guess that makes sense, since this is kind of a foodie area here. Yeah, the music in this, like all of the music in this world right here, in the Candyland, in the library, this is just like all the best music right here. I wonder, actually, I think I'm almost keen to see if there's a good OC remix of this tune right here. Oh dear. This looks unpleasant. You know what, I should probably be killing these enemies just for the score. So, yeah, are kind of getting to the point in the game where we're starting to lose lives. Let's get these apples, too. Apples are the shiznit. Okay, we can afford to miss one, I guess. I actually discovered... Oh yeah, that's right, they give you this random Chaos Emerald, like, right at the start of the stage for some reason. I actually discovered Avatar, The Last Airbender, not that long ago. I mean, not super recently. It was like maybe 2 years? Like a year and a half, 2 years or so, I first discovered The Last Airbender. Yeah, amazing fucking show. Like, maybe one of my favorites of all time. It just makes me feel good whenever I find, like, a good, like, really high-quality cartoon show that's, like, on par with the quality of stuff I used to watch as a kid, or even better, which I would say Avatar definitely is. Although I never got into Legend of Korra, weirdly enough. I stuck with it for the first couple seasons, but I wasn't... I don't know, it was okay, but it certainly didn't live up to Last Airbender. And yeah, I figured the second ending kind of, or the second season kind of ended on a bit of a high note. Which is not to say that it was the best ending in the world or anything, but there were no loose ends or anything. Like, the story was pretty much resolved, so I figured, you know what, I'm satisfied just, ending it right here. Whoa. I didn't think it was that... I know there's some people who actually, like, really, really hate Legend of Korra. And I didn't... Or actually, I did hate the first season. I thought the first season was absolutely terrible. But I stuck with it for the second season, which I thought was a pretty big improvement. It wasn't great, but... Alright, I had this weird, like, almost kind of pet peeve with Legend of Korra, where it's just like the good guys all seem so utterly ineffective and useless. Like, I don't think that the good guy, like, Team Good Guy, wins a single victory over the bad guys' forces in, the first season of Legend of Korra. It's like, at every single turn, the bad guy's plans go ahead, and he just gets absolutely everything he wants, and the good guys just, like, fail miserably and accomplish nothing. And then they just randomly win in the end because, I don't know, Korra unlocked the chakra at just the right moment or some bullshit. Yeah, I actually did kind of hate the first season of Legend of Korra. It was just comical, too, because, like, in the first season, like, they can't even win fights against, like, the bad guys, like, random mooks. It's like he's got, like, the random, like, foot soldiers, like, effectively the equivalent of, like, putties or some shit from Power Rangers, and the good guys can't even beat those guys! They get their asses handed to them, and it's absolutely pathetic. And not only that, but the thing that really pissed me off is that they retroactively made the original cast from Last Airbender suck too. Because they gotta play up just how awesome their new overpowered villain is. So it's, yeah, like you see, like, yeah, Korra and Aang sucking it up in the flashback scenes too. It's like, I understand, you know, the need to make your villain, like, all, like, powerful and menacing and intimidating, but there's a fine line between that and just making your good guys just seem utterly fucking useless and pathetic chodes. Second season was a lot better about that, though, and better about other things, too. I was almost tempted to stick it through just to see Toph come back, because I know that she makes a comeback in one of the later seasons, and I really, really liked Toph. She was my favorite character from Last Airbender. Although, I don't know, it's pretty... frankly, it's a pretty for favorite Last Airbender character. It's really, really close between just about all of them. I love, yeah, just about all of them. I love Sokka. Love, what's her fucking name? Katara's really cool. Maybe Katara's like maybe lagging behind a little bit, but I think she's still really awesome. Maybe Aang's my least favorite, and even he's pretty awesome too. Who are other awesome characters? Oh yeah, there's Toph, who's possibly my favorite. I also really like, this is just like a good mental exercise. Good mental exercise to try and see if I can remember characters' names. What's the main cast? There's, Sokka, Aang, Sokka, Katara, Toph, Zuko. Zuko's a great character. Surprisingly funny too. I think a lot of the funniest scenes in the series are ones that involve Zuko, or in the bad guys too. Oh shit, fucking Azula is like one of my favorite villains in like anything ever. Yeah, if I were to do like a YouTube like video, I think I actually wrote that up at some point. I did a bunch of top 10 lists as ideas for like low effort YouTube videos, and one of them was top 10 villains, and I think I don't quite remember, but I think Azula might have been number 1. Oh, right, there was some bullshit with the falling blocks here, so it's like some of them you gotta bait them out, and others you gotta just run for it. I think for this one you stop in front of the very last one. Yeah. Maybe it was this one. No, this one you just run all the way to the end. Okay, and there's some like kind of blind jumps that you have to make here. They're a pain in the ass, but if I can remember where they are, we'll be alright. Okay. We got candles to spare here, so we're fine just using them. Man, this is only like stage fucking 4, isn't it? We're probably nowhere close to the end now that I reflect on it further. It feels like we're like approaching to the end. It's like a big creepy castle. The game gets like really hard all of a sudden, but it is only stage 4, isn't it? Who knows? Sorry, I will in a second. It's just things are getting, like I said, we're getting in the tough part of the game here. I don't know, maybe I just leave it. Maybe we just leave that set, that just big rant that you put so much effort into just gets lost to the ether or whatever. I'm not going to do that to you. Okay. If I die as a result of me trying to read all this, though. But that's the thing, they mess with the power levels of pretty much everything in Korra, I think, where it's just like you have to emphasize how like everyone is like super duper awesome compared to all of the old characters. Yeah, all the new villains are like super incredible, ridiculous villains that have powers way beyond anyone else in the old series. No! Okay, exit. With that said, I've never got much into, like, nerd... I don't know. I'm not that big of a nerd. And by that, I mean, like, stuff about, like, oh, they messed up the details of how the Avatar state works, and the way bending works, and, like, the rules of it and all. I often don't pay attention to those kinds of details, so I'm not the kind of guy to, like, nerd out about, yeah, series getting that type of thing wrong. So I've seen videos like that online, and it's interesting to me, but it doesn't bother me when I'm watching the show. Like, I saw this big, like, it was like a 4-part series about the 2-parter in Season 2 of Korra, where it shows, like, the origin of bending and everything. This guy made, like, this 4-part series on how, like, the whole episode is bullshit and mess... completely retcons the way bending works and contradicts the spirit of the series and how it's just very bad fiction in general. And it's really interesting to read it and everything, and to find out, like, the details that I never really paid attention to. Fuck you, fish. Still, that's only, like, what, 2 deaths so far? That's not atrocious. But yeah, when I don't know, I just don't nerd out about stuff like that, like other people do. And I say that, it's like I'm a nerd, obviously, based on my interests, but I'm just not a detail-oriented person. That's why that's probably why I failed as a computer programmer after college. That's one of my favorite quotes, actually, in a movie. Is actually one of my favorite Johnny Depp films and performances. Actually, Ed Wood, who is, if anyone doesn't know, he's like notorious as one of the worst film directors of all time, who's made some of the worst movies. And it's like the film is like a sort of a biopic about yeah, this guy Ed Wood. Yeah, Johnny Depp gives a great performance. And he's got this one quote in the movie that I love, where he's talking about how I can't remember what it is. It's something about how the UFOs look fake or something like that, because they're just like little styrofoam cutouts on sticks, and you can obviously see the sticks and everything. And it's just like someone's talking to him about how fake the effects look, and he says, and I just love this quote, it's like, filmmaking is not about all the little details, it's about the big picture. And I just love that quote because it applies to my approach to, like, so much of just fiction and video games and movies in general. And it goes, and it's unsurprising that Ed Wood has this reputation as, like, the worst filmmaker of all time with that kind of philosophy. Like, it's a good thing. Like, I will probably never be a game designer or, frankly, any sort of creative person of consequence as a result of my sort of adhering to that philosophy. But that's just the approach I take to everything. It's just, yeah, it's not about every little detail. It's about the big picture. And yeah, stuff like complaining about, like, plot holes in movies, like, I find it very, very easy to rationalize away a lot of just, like, little details that people complain about being plot holes and inconsistencies. Like, almost any time someone points out, like, a plot hole or inconsistency in a work of fiction, I can find some way in my head to rationalize it. And it's not even that I'm, like, smarter than other people or anything. It's just that is the reason. It's just that I think I have a much greater capacity for suspension of disbelief. Like, the whole midichlorian thing never even bothered me. It's like, okay, that's plausible. Psychic powers in a science fiction universe. It makes sense to have some kind of scientific explanation for it. Man, we're on 5 fucking lives. Did we take a hit there? Because it looks like we took a hit. We took a hit there. How the fuck did we not take a hit against this guy? Maybe we gotta throw, Okay. So yeah, how the fuck do we not tank a hit? Oh shit, that was a jump. Oh, that is so bullshit. Okay, there we go. Gotta jump a little bit earlier, like as soon as he grins there, because I think once he starts swinging the axe, then you're already fucked. Or is that an axe or a hammer? It's probably a hammer, because yeah, they wouldn't put, like, sharp blades or something in a Disney video game. Although with that said, there were, like, rotating axes in Chippendale Rescue Rangers, weren't there? I don't know, maybe it's just me, but personally I find the notion of getting, like, squashed flat by, like, crushers or hammers or something to be much more gruesome than just getting, like, vivisected or chopped in half. Just seems a lot messier. just like the squirt, like blood splurting everywhere, and you're just getting pounded into a gooey little paste. And we win! Give it to me! Fuck off. Fuck off. Okay, I think maybe we gotta get him directly on top of the head is maybe the thing? I don't know. I can't figure out what it is that we're fucking up here. There we go. I think it's, yeah, like, directly on top of the head is the secret here. Yep, that's it. That's it. I think he's speeding up a little bit as we go through the fight. Fuck, 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 fuck. And dead. Not quite. Not quite. This'll do it. There we go. God, what a prick. Okay, that's probably not the... That's... yeah. Oh, that's the last gem. Okay, so this is the final stage right here. I think we get one continue on normal, too, so that'll be helpful. Are we gonna get our extra life? There it is. Oh, it's not every 50,000. We got a secret bonus, too. Oh, we got, like, tons of secret bonus points, too. That's, like, more secret bonus points in that stage than we get in the entirety of Dynamite Heady. Oh, there's, like, no castle. Oh, there's a whole other castle left to explore. Oh, and you make the little rainbow bridge, just like in the remake. Or in Crash Bandicoot. Oh, it's just the final boss. Okay, this'll be fucking horrible if we fail this, won't it? There's no way we're gonna be able to jump on top of her head, right? Or unless we go up on the high platform and wait for her to go in the center. Oh, we got more platforms up here, too. Yeah, this'll work. Yeah, this'll work. Oh, you can bounce those guys. I mean, not quite all the way, but okay, that's one try fucked up. Oh, come on, I hit the jump button there. Okay, let's see if it's a pattern. Does she always go left here? Looks like she doesn't. That kind of sucks. Okay. Okay. Gotta get away from her when she summons the cloudy things to her. There we go. One hit. It only took us 2 tries. 2 lives to figure out how to get that hit in. Okay, you can just, yeah, bounce the barrier then. As long as she keeps going low, we're fine. Fuck off. Just like the previous one, we gotta go right on top of the head. This actually isn't too bad. As long as there's not a second form, we might have this. Okay, and you just jump straight up to avoid it. Like, I think the only change is that the rotating barrier things are getting a bit faster. Is that it? Holy shit! I did it! I managed to win this cartoon mouse game for babies. You know, on not on hard mode or anything, but you know. I actually had a backup plan where I was just, if I failed this attempt, I was just gonna go through the game on easy mode. Because I read somewhere that, this does like the old school thing that you saw in a lot of 16-bit platformers, where you don't get the full game if you play on easy. I heard that it ends, like, really early, too. Like, in Stage 3, the witch just gives Minnie to you. I might even just check that out now to see what it looks like. And yeah, and I ended up looking that up when... I was on a kick just looking up those types of bad endings from back in the day. When, like, a game would give you some kind of shitty ending, like, try harder, scrub, when you beat the game on easy mode, and, like, cut off the good ending from you and all that. There were some really, like, good, nasty ones, too. I don't know what it is. And it was inspired by a conversation I saw on Twitter, actually, about just game devs, like, insulting the player for playing on easy mode and that type of thing. I don't know. Personally, I never was bothered by that type of thing, and I was tempted to jump in on the conversation because the overwhelming consensus seemed to be that everyone in the conversation seemed to hate the trend of like insulting people for playing on easy mode and denying them content and good endings and that kind of thing, and that it was all inspired by like this sort of stupid new gamer, like uber hardcore. I don't know, other pejoratives to sort of go with that, to describe that attitude. Whereas I was tempted to jump in on the thread and be all like, y'all are a bunch of crybabies, y'all just need to get good. But, I bet that would have just been trolling, though. But it reminded me of all those bad endings from back in the day and just how much nostalgia I have for them, really. Because I was one of those scrubs back in the day. I was terrible at video games. I played every game I owned on easy mode, and I saw all of those bad endings on easy, and I never took it personally. It never bothered me that they just say, hey, try harder on normal. And so I did, and eventually, like months later, I would beat the game on normal. There's some really good ones, though. You probably saw if you follow me on Twitter, you probably saw that tweet where I put out the one, there was the one on, Streets of Rage 3, where the guy's like, you play this game like a beginner, and you get a bad ending where Mr. X gets away. And there's the one where Magneto says that what was it? Amateurs can never defeat me, try being a hero. And even fucking Yoshi talking shit. He's just like, hey, you can forget about getting anything special for playing on easy. And then, of course, the great one, which I discovered, which was... the creator of Earthworm Jim, just reading you a bunch of facts about worms in the special edition of Earthworm Jim. And yeah, just to cap things off, because I'm really curious about it now. Oh, is this it right here? Are we going to get the message where they tell us, hey, play on hard mode, scrub? Or is this the intro to the game that I just never bothered to watch before? Hi... Just gonna keep doing this. Oh, that's the screen closing like we were at the cinema. And yeah, the show's over now. Guess I could just look this up on YouTube, but I'm keen to see just how much easier this gets on practice mode. Oh, and I'm not even on the first day of it, I'm not holding to my resolution. We are getting up there on midnight right away, but whatever. We're not going to go over midnight. It's not going to take us 20 minutes to do this right here. So right off the bat, we get 5 health. Nice boost. Right there, we got fewer enemies, it looks like. We've seen, like, what, 2 tree stump men? Looks like even extra health there. I don't think there were 2 health bits there on normal mode. Probably like infinite continues or something like that, too. Still got the shooty flowers, though. Those guys are a little bit tricky to deal with. Oh, yeah, the old, anti-piracy measures. Those were, yeah, there's some fun stuff, too. Is that the whole level? Is that the whole level? Oh, my God, this is great. Actually, Sparkster on Genesis and Super Nintendo did something similar, where it cut out segments of the level if you played on easy mode. Which I actually didn't mind it in that game. It wasn't quite as pathetic as what we just saw there. But, oh and yeah, right here, we're skipping the first segment, going right to Section 2. It makes sense that this is the one they'd want to keep for this level, too, because it's got the whole impressive reversal gimmick. But yeah, the thing about Sparkster is that it was actually like a really difficult game on normal. Or I guess this kind of was too, but like it was also a difficult and kind of long game. So it like if you the stuff you cut out, I actually didn't mind it in Sparkster because it actually just made for kind of an abridged version of the game that was fine in its own right. It's just you play a slightly shorter game with a bit of content cut out. That was the way I played Sparkster back in the day. Plock too, or yeah, Plock also has a very good easy mode that I frankly think is actually more fun to play than the normal mode. There's some bullshit in Plock normal mode that just gets cut right out. Jazz Jackrabbit on NES. I was unaware that such a thing existed. Did they seriously? Okay, looks like I was wrong. I thought they included this part of the level for the sake of showing off their impressive screen flipping gimmick. But apparently they cut that out too. Oh, we also just get a free one up here, because why not? I've played Jazz Jackrabbit on PC. I had Jazz Jackrabbit, or the freeware version of Jazz Jackrabbit. You know what? I streamed PC Jazz Jackrabbit, like way back a couple of years ago when I used to stream. Is that like a bootleg thing then, or was there actually a NES version of Jazz Jackrabbit? This is astounding. I should have been playing the game this way all along. We would have cleared this day one. Hell, me saying that this isn't gonna take 20 minutes. This is hardly gonna take, like, 2 minutes at this rate. Although, oh, they include the shittiest part of this level, though, because, yeah, I hate having to guess which thing to... Oh, Bucky O'Hare! Yes, I have played Bucky O'Hare. That is an excellent game. Excellent, excellent game. One of the all-time greats, I think. Better than Mega Man. I will take that to the fucking bank. Better than Mega Man. I used to watch Bucky O'Hare back in the day, too, as a kid. I remember nothing about it, other than that, yeah, I watched it. And liked it a lot. Oh, this is like an altered version of this level, too, with all the alternate pathways cut off, and there that is. And that was the last one. We're at the end of the game now. But yeah, Jazz Jackrabbit... Fuck. I mean, okay, Jazz Jackrabbit is a good game too, but I was just about to make the same mistake you did. Bucky O'Hare is an excellent, excellent game. One of the best on the NES, I think. Way too hard for me back in the day. I was not able to beat a single level in Bucky O'Hare back when I rented that as a kid. And I rented it multiple times, too. Is she just a good witch to begin with now? Oh, cool. We just, yeah, pay for Minnie's freedom there. And that's the whole game. We beat the game. It was that easy all along. See, this kind of plays into the attitude that the, people in that Twitch conversation I was talking about go into. It's like you don't get like a, hey, try harder scrub or anything. It's just like, good job. You rescued Minnie. Go do it on normal if you want to. But, you know, she's rescued, so you don't have to. Like, you get kind of like a good and proper ending there, kind of. Yeah, this is the kind of thing that's like, you know, good for kids. Like, I would, if I had played this as a kid, I would have played through the game like that and been fine with it. It's like, hey, at least you get something. It's kind of like your consolation prize. So I kind of see something to the notion that instead of insulting players and telling them that they play the game like a beginner and they're not a hero or whatever, and that you don't get anything special, just give them a little consolation prize, like a simplified ending or something. I can see that. It's good for kids. Yeah, I think that was literally 2 minutes. I think we actually spent 2 minutes going through the game on easy mode there. I wonder then if you actually get like a special ending on hard. I don't know. Some years later, like years from now, maybe we come back to this and make a full run and try on hard, but yeah, we succeeded. We actually, like, we threw down the gauntlet to the Castle of the Mouse, and we prevailed. Turns out that, yeah, Jasu, a grown-ass man, triumphs over, yeah, the silly baby cartoon mouse game after all. That's a happy ending in my books, and we even got, like, the extra bonus good ending for easy mode as well. So, yeah, Minnie's double saved now. Can't get any safer than that. And that just crashed the emulator right there. That's a, okay, no, it didn't. It just got it to stop responding for a bit. And yeah, it's a good time. Good a time as any to end it, I think. Gonna check out this screenshot of The Last Airbender, though. Ooh, yeah, even the version I got was higher quality than this. Although, frankly, I think a lot of those old cartoons don't, or not old cartoons, but like just 2D animation in general often doesn't translate well to high definition. It's not a matter of it being blurry, though. It's just, like, the lack of detail really stands out more. Like, I think I prefer my, like, kind of low resolution. Actually, I'm going to check out my, my version of Last Airbender. Oh, yeah, I guess we can stop the, yeah, I'll probably put the Castle of Illusion thing up on YouTube as a standalone video. So, yeah, we can stop that recording right now to talk about Last Airbender for a couple